Okay, so in this lesson, we're going to talk about bar graphs, right? And we're going to talk about um, what a bar graph is. Bar graph is. Okay, so a bar graph is basically a type of statistical graph that talks about. Um, it's a type of statistical graph that displays information using bars, right? So an example of a bar graph would be something like this, right? Where we have this is called the x-axis, right? This is the x-axis and this is the y-axis, right? And the bars may look something like this, right? Right. In this case, this is called a vertical bar graph. This is called a vertical bar graph, right? There are other types of bar graphs, like a horizontal bar graph, but for the purposes of this video, we're going to only talk about vertical bar graphs for today, right? So, a bar graph is a type of statistical um, is a type of statistical graph that displays information using bars, right? And basically is used during, like, when we want to display information in a very easy to read, easy to understand format. Usually after we have done like a survey of some kind, right? So let's say, for example, that we wanted to figure out, we wanted to, ask some students, and we said to some students, well, what animals do they like as pets, right? And let's say we asked the class, right, and we said something like, oh, what animals do you like? And let's say we said cats, dogs, and fish, right? And we asked the class, right? We said to the class, we said, okay, well, how many students like cats? How many students like dogs? How many students like fish, right? So we said, okay, let's make a survey of this, right? Okay, and right from this from this we can look up and we can say, okay, well, we can ask certain questions about the graph, right? We could say, well, which animal, if from the graph, which animal is liked the most, right? Which animal is liked the most? And from this, we can easily see that it's dogs, right? We can easily see that dogs are like the most, right? So the answer to this would be dogs, right? We know this, that it's dogs, right? Because the graph is, the bar is the highest, right? Right? This in the case would be what, 9 approximately. So we know that 9 is the most, right? Right? And let's say we said, well, which animal is like the least, right? And if you look at the graphs, well, which animal is liked the least? And we will say, well, it's fish, right? Because fish fish is what, 6? Is 6, right? And we say, well, fish, right? Because fish is 6, and dogs is 9, right? And we said, well, how many students, let's say this is 7, how many students took the survey, right? And we will say, well, okay, well, we can add these up, right? And we can say, well, okay, well, we know that cats is about 7, right? 7, right? We know dogs is 9, and we know that fish is 6, right? So we know, okay, 9 plus 7 is 16, plus 6 is 22, right? So we know that this is, 22 students took the test, about, right? So, So the bar graph, what the bar graph does is that it gives us an easy to read, understanding of, um, it gives us an easy to read understanding of information that's written out in a statistical format, right? That's basically it. In a future lesson, we will talk about the how do we glean additional statistical information from a bar graph? Like how do you obtain the mean, median, mode, range, stuff like that. But basically, a bar graph basically is a to recap, a bar graph basically is a graph that displays information using bars. The bars are separated. The bars do not they do not touch, and basically bar graphs are used to compare different types of information that is being analyzed. So that's it. Thank you, and have a good day.